So to get to the first presenter, Amberin Khan, she is the mother of Noor that you see in the picture here. And October is a busy time, and this was actually fall break for her kids. So she was not going to be able to actually join us live today. So I met with her a week or so ago, and we recorded her session. But Amberin and her family, they are in Atlanta, Georgia. And I actually first met Amberin because her daughter Nora was joining a lot of our family services events that we were holding for kids. And so I met her daughter first and then reached out to her. And she was very gracious to be willing to speak today. So sit back and enjoy. We're going to play Amberin's session first, where she shares some of the tools that they use in their home for her daughter Nor. Even though she's young, she has had some mobility loss. So it just goes to show that you can use tools for children, even though they may not necessarily need them yet. It's good to start introducing them. So let's watch Andrin's video, and then we will come back together.
Hello everyone, my name is Amberin and I'm mom to Noor, who has FOP, and we are a family of 5. We live in Atlanta, Georgia. Noor is a twin. She has a twin brother. They are 10 and a half years old now, and I have an older daughter. Her name is Reza. She is 18 and she just started her college this year. So we have been living in Atlanta since she was my older one was 2 years old, and Noor was born here. She was diagnosed when she was age 2, but her first FOP, I think, fallout was when she was 2 months old, after her first intramuscular injection. She had a lump on her thigh, which the doctors didn't know anything about. They said it'll go away. Sometimes it happens with the shots, and just to rub it with alcohol swab, and it'll go away. And it did go away. The lump, we didn't feel it after a week or so. It went, so the bone was dormant. And then when everything was fine. She was walking, everything was fine. She was not diagnosed. She was born with the bunion on her toes, on both her toes. But the doctors didn't know anything about it. Her orthopedic doctor said we will have it's a bunion, and we can operate it. We can do a surgery and remove the bunion, scrape it off, and she'll be able to wear regular sandals and everything. We did have her surgery too when she was like 18 months old. After that, also, she was fine. Nothing happened. No FOP fallout after the surgery. Everything went well. And right, I think just before a month short, 2 months, 2 years, just a month short, and she was just playing, and she just twisted her leg or something. I didn't know what happened, and she just started crying, and she couldn't put her leg down, and that's when the fallout, and that's when the FOP. I mean, that's when it started, and a lot of MRIs, lot of X-rays, everything, and that's what led to her diagnosis. And her orthopedic doctor knew about Dr. Kaplan, and he was the one who said, you can contact him, and we just sent him the X-rays, the CDs, and that's how it all started. So, as you all know, living with FOP, it's it's a little difficult because they have lost a lot of physical mobility. So, as far as Noor is concerned, she has no movement in her neck, shoulders, upper body, her back. Everything is locked. So it's hard for her to drink off of a regular cup. So we got these nosy cups. They are available on eSpecial Needs. I got it from eSpecial Needs, but they're also available on Amazon. I got it in different sizes. She uses at home. She can still drink out of a regular cup, but this makes it easier. She doesn't have to tilt her head, and so I have it in different sizes at home. She uses it at home. At school, she when she's at school, she uses the straw. This is very flexible, a straw. It comes in a case. I found it at Five Below. The straws are like bendable and they're made with silicone. So I keep this in my bag everywhere wherever I go. And she has these straws at school. She uses it to drink her juice with the straw. And the good part is like it comes with a cleaning brush, and it's portable. I mean, it's very tiny and you can fit it in your purse. Dressing is another hard thing since she doesn't have any upper body mobility. She cannot reach her head, so and arms. Her arms are locked. So I use this poncho. I found this one at Target from their adaptive clothing line. It's lightweight. It's water resistant, easy to put on, and the best thing is like I mean, she cannot put it on but she can take it out on her own. It has pockets inside. She can put her hands inside. It's warm for winter. It's really good for winter. We use it normally in winter. I use this one. And then I have other ponchos too, which I use, like since she's a girl, she just loves dressing up. So I have these other ones. The one on the left I've got it at Children's Place. It's nice for fall and fall weather especially, and the other one is nice for spring weather. The other one I got it from India. These are a little hard to take it out. She cannot take it out on her own because of the neck size is little. It's not that wide as the other one. So, but these are nice to put it on for on in different like for fall, winter, for spring. Shoes is another thing. So when she her leg the her right leg is locked because of the shot which she had, like her intramuscular shot, the first FOP fallout she had. Because of that, her right leg is locked at her knee and she cannot bend it at all. And her left leg is bending a bit more too. So because of that, her one leg is shorter than the other one. So her orthopedic recommended that we do a lift on her one of her shoe, like her left shoe. So the sandals, the one in the middle, this we got it done through the orthotist, and for that we almost paid like almost $400 because the insurance didn't cover for that. So we did the other one. I asked my dry cleaners if he could do it, and he said, "You bring a sample, and I'll look at it, and if I can do it, I'll do it." So I took the other one, the sandal, and he said he'll be able to do it. So I got the sneakers done for like $100 at the dry cleaners, and it's exactly the same material he used. Only thing is the finishing, the glue you can see, but that's okay. It's not visible at all. But the only thing is that the lift makes it a little heavier. So she, when she's wearing the sneakers, she needs help. Like I have to. It's hard for her to get her foot up if she had to go a step up. But the sandals are very lightweight. That's what she usually wears. Sneakers she wears mostly in winters. And the other ones are just the slide-ons. This she can just put it on her own. So this she, if we are just playing, if we are outside, she's just sitting, or if we are in the backyard, if she wants to just take a walk, she just uses these sandals, the slide-ons. So, showering is another thing which is hard since because of her limited, like, restrictions. She's not able to stand for that long, and the other reason is also to avoid slips and falls in the bath. We use this shower chair for her. I make her sit in the shower chair, and I have a handheld faucet, a shower head, which we use when she's taking shower. She cannot wash her hair on her own, but she can hold the shower head, like the faucet in her hand, and she likes to put water by herself. So she does that, and I'll wash her hair. And I got this cushion. The chair is also from Amazon. The cushion is also from Amazon to avoid any kind of slips. I mean, to make it, I don't know, slip proof. It Uh, the other things she uses at home to reach are the reachers, the grabbers, the long grabber she uses when she's standing, and the other one, the back scratcher, is very handy. She uses to switch to use to turn on the switches, light switches. The small grabber, mostly uses when she's sitting and doing her craft. If anything falls off, she can just pick it up while she's sitting. She doesn't have to stand up and use the other grabber. Okay, this is a bolster stool. This is a good. This is I found it on eSpecial Needs. It's very good because most of the time when Noor, if she's not watching TV or doing anything else, she's mostly at her table doing crafting. She loves doing her rainbow loom. So when she's sitting, and she'll be sitting there for a long time. So I got the stool so that she can rest her legs on the stool. Before that, I used to use, like, the small, the folding stools, but this one is better because it rocks and it has more space, so she can rest her legs while she's doing her craft. Like you can see in the picture how she's resting comfortably her legs, and it goes under her table. And walking, like, it's hard for her ever since her other leg got bent a little bit, so she is not able to walk, like, more than 5 to 10 minutes, I must say, like, and then she gets tired. So we use this conveyed stroller. We have been using it ever since she started kindergarten. Until then, she used to walk. I mean, she could still walk, but we got it because in school, to avoid any kind of accidents or bumping or, like, tripping or falling. But this is a stroller, we use it every time now. It's a wheelchair stroller. um, we got it adapted, I mean customized, through Nemotion according to her height, and the leg rests also can go up and down. And I use pillows, cushions to support her leg. I put one underneath her leg, which is the right leg, which is locked, and one under her arm to just support her arm. Her hobbies, she loves music. This is recorder she played last year in school, um, and she had a lot of fun playing it. This year they're going to learn ukulele. They haven't started yet, but hope she likes that too. But recorder she loved. These are some cool adaptive scissors. Her OI at school got it for Noor, and it's very comfortable, easy to use. It doesn't have handles. It's that rubber thing, which makes it easier for her to um, close it. I mean, like, use it with her arm, with her hands. And so she it's available on Amazon. We got it from Amazon. She has the same one at school which she uses. And the swivel chair, this is also, we got it from Amazon, since she cannot turn her head to look right left. So we got this, her OI at school, like, she got this chair for her. And then we got the same one on Amazon for her at home, so she uses the same one at home, and she as well as at school. This is her craft table. She spends I would say, half of her day, or mostly 70% of her day there. She loves doing her rainbow loom, her other craft stuff, and it's nice. It's like a hexagon shape, like a triangle hexagon. I don't know how to what shape it is, but it's like, it's easier, it's curved in the front, so it's she can go in as much more to read stuff. And this is the one, this is also the desk her OI at school, she recommended we use it. And when they went online learning, like, 2 years back during the pandemic, they gave us this desk to use it at home. Whatever stuff no was using at school, they said you can take it and you can use it at home for her. and then they said you can keep it. So I didn't have to return it. So it's nice, and it has a shelf underneath to store her stuff, which she can reach also. So she puts her grabber, her reacher, her back scratcher, or other things which she wants to use it under the shelf. She has a similar desk at school. Only thing is she doesn't have a shelf underneath, so her aide helps her read stuff for her at school. At home, she has a shelf, so she is basically independent when she is at her craft table. She doesn't need my help anymore at all. And reading is her favorite hobby. If she's not doing her craft, she'll be reading, and she loves Harry Potter. She read all of the books. She watched all the movies. I don't know how many times, and they still keep watching. And recently, we took her last year spring. We took her to Universal, and she had a blast at the Harry Potter world. Outside, there are not much things to do outside now, but she loves drawing. So we got her this. It's called Walkie Chalk. I found it on Amazon. Actually, I think somebody recommended this on FOP group on Facebook, and she put a link of this, and I thought I'll look into it, and I really liked it, and we got it for Noor, and she loves it. She can now draw with this chalk on the driveways when other kids are also playing with her. With my older one, she loves to draw. She can draw it on the wall too with this. Thank you all. Hope you like the tools which we use, and hope it's helpful for other kids in the community. Thank you.
I wish Amberin was here live so I could thank her again. That was such a wonderful presentation. And I just have something funny I want to share with you all. When I first reached out to Amberin to see if she wanted to be a speaker today, we always like to try to at least have one parent so we can talk about some of the tools that younger children might be able to benefit from. And she first said, I'm not so sure. We really don't use many tools because Nora isn't too limited yet. And the more I talked to her, the more she realized, and the more I realized, like a lot of things that she was doing were truly tools or modifications or adaptations. And I think sometimes we forget that tools and adaptive equipment does not have to be grandiose and huge and special. Sometimes the tiniest little things, like using a pillow to prop up an arm so she could rest it and read her Harry Potter books. Some of those simple things, those are considered tools and adaptations as well. So some of you may think you're not using any tools right now, but I bet you'd be surprised that there are things that you do to help accommodate living with FOP and still being able to do the things that you enjoy. So thank you so much to Amberin for providing us with that information. Something else that I love that comes out of these sessions, and I think it's why everyone enjoys watching them, is you can learn something from everyone, even though we've probably all seen a lot of the tools that Amberin shared. The thing I like the most about my job is I learned so much from you all, and I got such a kick out of the fact when she said that her shoes got altered at the dry cleaner. It just goes to show you that you never know how you can find an adaptation to your life. Her dry cleaner actually had an alteration shop inside the dry cleaner, and she happened to ask them if they could alter the shoes, and she ended up being able to do that for a lot less expensive. So I love these presentations, and I love my job and connecting with you all because I end up learning so much as well and always seem to find a new resource. So the next presenter that we're going to have is Kathleen Degenhart. And Kathleen, I also met through a family gathering. It was actually our first family gathering back in 2020. And I had done a presentation and asked people to reach out to me and share the tools that they use with me so that I could then in turn share them with other people. And Kathleen came to one of my small group discussions, and I met her, and then she reached out to me after the family gathering, and she has just been a wealth of knowledge sharing her resources with me. And it was just a natural thing that when it came time to ask her to present. She was like one of the first people I wanted to go to this year to see if she'd be willing to share with everyone else. She's really come out of her shell, and she is on the board of the Canadian FOP network. And she does a lot of their social media posts, and she's really trying to get more involved in the community. So I am so excited that she is here with us today to share some of the things that she uses to help with her daily routines. And her focus is a little bit more on some of the adult tools. So I hope that you enjoy her presentation. She is here live with us today, which makes me really happy. So she'll be with us here at the end if you have any questions for her. So Kathleen, I will turn it over to you.
Hi everyone. I'll just say a little bit about myself. I'm 29 years old and I live in a small town, Saskatchewan, Canada. I was born with the normal short FOP toes, but at the time the doctors really didn't see the significance of it, so they just kind of told my parents, it's nothing, don't worry about it. But when I got my immunizations at 6 months old, I couldn't straighten my leg, or I was having trouble straightening my leg, and we saw some doctors, and they noticed that there was a lump in my leg. So at 2 years old, I had surgery to remove that lump, and they lengthened the tendon in the back of my leg, and then at that time they thought I had myositis ossificans, but then the lump grew back, and they realized at 4 years old that I had FOP. And I want to say, like, I had a fairly normal childhood, and I could do lots of things just like my siblings could. It was kind of when puberty hit that everything kind of went a little bit haywire, and I started losing movement. But I just wanted to share some of the tools and adaptive equipment that I use on a fairly regular basis. So the first is my wheelchair. I have 2 wheelchairs. This is my tilt wheelchair that I just got, and I sit on a Roho cushion, and in the backrest is a Vicare cushion. It's really similar to a Roho cushion, and they're actually tetrahedron shaped pieces filled with air, so you can either put more pieces in, take pieces out if it's not quite right. So that's really nice because you can adjust it a little better. And they put a headrest on for me. And the leg pegs are really nice. Like, they adjusted them and they made them, they put a whole bunch of pieces of foam together with a piece of plywood on the bottom because my legs are straight. So then they made them how my legs are, and it makes it a lot more comfortable because it really supports my legs very well. And there was other pieces on the leg pegs that they took off to make it more comfortable because I didn't need the extra pieces. They didn't really do anything. And the picture on the right that you see, this is my manual wheelchair. So the seat kind of sags so that you can fold it together. But I don't like that aspect of it. I like that it can fold up, but I don't like that it sags. I find that kind of hurts my legs. So they made me a wedge, and so it reclines a bit, and it has plywood on the bottom to make it so it doesn't sag, but then it's a bit cushiony on top, and then I put my Roho cushion on top of that, and it makes it a lot more comfortable, and then the seat doesn't sag, and it has a bit of a recline, even though it's a manual chair, so it's kind of nice. This is my bath chair that I use, obviously, to have a bath. As you can see, it's just a normal bath chair, but the way I stand into the tub, but when I get out, I kind of sit on the flap, and I was kind of breaking the flap on my chair. So we came up with the idea of, we put a couple pieces of styrofoam together taped them together and put that underneath the flap of the chair, because technically with the bath lift, you're only supposed to lift it as high as the bathtub edges go. But for me, because my legs are straight, I've always lifted it as high as it goes, because the higher you can lift it, the easier it's to get up off of. But yeah, I was breaking the flaps, but the styrofoam really helps to support the flaps, so the flaps don't break, because they're pretty pricey flaps. And when I sit on the seat, there's no cushion or anything. It's pretty hard and a bit slippery, so I put a washcloth on the seat to sit on, and that adds a bit of cushion and prevents me so that I don't slip and kind of fall. The Freedom Wand is something that an FOP member actually told me about it, and I tried it out, and I really liked it. I couldn't believe how well it worked. And you can use it. You can use many different things in it other than just toilet paper, and they come. You can make them longer or shorter depending on how you want to use it. My dressing sticks, there's many different versions of them, but what I have done, because I use the wooden ones, I got my mom to put some varnish on the wooden part so that you can wash them and clean them better. Otherwise, it's hard to clean them because they're wooden. This watering can, I got it from IKEA, and I really like it when I'm kind of out and about, and sometimes the bathroom's not big enough, or the toilet's too short, or with COVID, you didn't want to stop at the bathroom to use their washroom, or stop at a currently gas station. Or for instance, when I go to my brother's house, there's not a bathroom on the main floor. So this gives me the option that if I have to use the washroom, that I can go in there, and then it just makes it so much nicer and easier, especially as mobility is it's not as good as it used to be, but this makes things a lot easier, because even if you had to, if you're in the middle of nowhere, you could stop and use the bathroom just like normal people can. My toothbrush, I use an Oral-B electric toothbrush, but the thing I wanted to point out on this is I have trouble getting the inside bottom of my teeth. So I don't like anyone else really brushing my teeth. I've tried that, but they don't do it as good as I do, or I don't like it. So I put my toothbrush in a face cloth and kind of wrap it around there and hold the washcloth and kind of use it to get the bottom of my teeth. My bed, I have what's called a Topaz 8 Plus alternating air mattress. I really like it. Because I sleep on my back and I have extra bone on my back, I find it's helped a lot with not completely with pressure sores, but it helps. And as you can see in the picture, I sleep with tons of pillows and stuff. But because I sleep on my back and my shoulder blades stick out more, I have a piece of foam that I put down kind of the center of where my spine is. And then that helps with my shoulder blades, that all the pressure's not on my back and my shoulder blades. So it helps me sleep a little bit better. I have a pillow for each arm because I like them to have support. I sleep with the head of my bed elevated, and it's on, you can control the bed to adjust it to any height and angle you kind of want. And on the bottom there is a slider sheet, and I got it from my OT. And the bed frame I got from Saskabilities, in Saskatchewan is what it's called. But the mattress I had to pay for myself. The I also have a blanket lifter. I find that, especially in the winter time, when I have 3 blankets on my bed, that my covers just get really heavy and they hurt my toes, especially because I sleep on my back. So the blanket lifter helps keep the covers off my toes, and yeah, makes it so my toes don't hurt so much. And the slider sheet helps me to get into bed easier. When I go to like hotels or stuff like that, I take a 3-inch foam mattress with me. It stays in a suitcase and just keep it in the closet. But anywhere I have to sleep somewhere, I take it with me to put on the hotel beds because I find them really hard and uncomfortable. But I also bring with my slider sheet, some pillows, and some foam to kind of mimic the same thing in my bed at home to make it the most comfortable I can. It's not quite the same, but it's better than nothing. Some clothing that I've really liked are called Buttercream Clothing, Little Heaven Designs, and Lost in Layers. And I found clothing really hard to find. Like, I need stretchy clothes, and I was finding that I'd have to go up a size or 2 to get it over my through my arm and over my head. But I kind of got tired of wearing baggy clothes. Excuse me. So I really liked these clothing companies. They're Canadian, they're local. It's all made in Canada. But the nice thing of it is a lot of their clothing is really stretchy, so I really like that. These are my boots. Excuse me. But because my left leg is shorter than my right, I have a lift on the bottom of my left boot or shoe to make it easier to walk. And I see a local guy who adds it for me. And he also makes me insoles for my shoes because on the bottom of my feet, I have a couple of pieces of bone that they're there and they kind of hurt my feet. So he makes me insoles to cushion my feet a bit more. And as you can see, these are my shoes, kind of the same thing. A lift on the bottom of my shoe to make walking easier. This is my mascara, how I put on my mascara, if I want to do it. I have a grabber or reacher that it doesn't work anymore, and I was almost going to throw it out, but I found another purpose for it. So I find that if you have a mascara that has a really like a round end, you put that between the suction cups, and then I hold the reacher with one hand, I put a mirror in the other hand, and I can do my own mascara with it, and it works really good actually. These are my spoons. I put a normal spoon in the inside, and it gives me extra length because I found that the spoons they're becoming too short. So this gives me a little bit extra length. And it's nice because it's kind of soft and grippy. But like you could put pretty much anything in it depending on the size because there's different sizes. And so that's really nice. You can put spoons, forks, knives, pretty much anything depending on the size. And yeah, you can get them on Amazon. Back scratchers. Now, I have a back scratcher that I carry with me everywhere. They all kind of have their own kind of purpose. I use my plastic one, the one kind of in the middle, when I'm in the house. I use it to push my hair out of my eyes or push up or put on my glasses or take them off. The other two towards the bottom are my ones that I use when I'm out and about. Same kind of thing. They're telescopic, so they're nice and you can put them in your purse or put them in your pocket or something and nobody can really knows. And the one on the right, I've attached an iPhone, like a pen to it, so that I can use it with my phone. Like if I want to have my phone in something, it's easier to scroll than using my finger because I don't have a lot of arm movement. So that's really nice. My lift chair it's really just a normal lift chair, but it kind of looks like a mess. But so anything that I sit on, like even when I go out and about, go out of the house, I take my Roho cushion with me. It comes with me everywhere. So that's on the seat there, as you can see. And down the middle of my back, I have, again, the same kind of thing as my bed, a piece of foam that goes down the middle of my back to keep my shoulder blades away from the back, because otherwise my shoulder blades would get so sore that they would just felt like they were on fire, and I just had to get up, and I can't do this anymore, so I'd have to get up. But this helps keep my shoulder blades away from the back, and it helps keep me more comfortable. I have a pillow for each arm to rest my arms on. I use a wedge for my legs to kind of help support them at kind of the right angle. And I put a pillow on top of that for a little bit more support. And the brown thing that you see is an armrest organizer to keep like my clickers or Kleenex or lip trap in there, so then I always have it. And my Levo, it holds my iPhone or my computer or my iPad. You can lock it in there, and then you can swing it around so that you can reach it. And it's really nice because it holds your phone for you, and yeah, your arms don't get sore. So that's what I really like about that. And my green thing is what I call it, but it's the same kind of thing, but this you can take with you pretty much everywhere. Again, it holds your phone for you so your arms don't get sore and tired. And it's bendable, so you can just about put it in any position you want. And my earphones, I don't have a lot of arm movement. This is about as high as I can reach with my arms. So the nice thing about my headphones is I push them up from the bottom to put them on my ears, and I kind of do the same to take them off. And yeah, so I wear them kind of upside down, I guess. But for people who don't have a lot of movement, I work from home. I'm a medical transcriptionist, so it's nice to be able to put them on myself. And an incentive spirometer is really good to help strengthen your lungs and keep your lungs really good. Something that we all should be doing to help keep our lungs strong so we don't get sick. This is my chair that I sit at the table. As probably many of you know, in my wheelchairs that I have now, if I'd sit at the table, my feet are at the same height as the table. So I can't sit at the table with my feet under the table. So I sit on a normal office chair with my Roho cushion on it. And the armrest doesn't adjust, and it was too low. So what my parents did is we put a couple pieces of foam together with some pieces of cardboard to kind of make it a bit stiffer. We taped it around the armrest, and then my mom put a nice piece of fabric over top of it to make it look more like an armrest. And that helps me get up because it's a little bit higher. So that's really nice. And I know a lot of people always ask me when I'm out and about or wherever, they see on my Roho cushion, they're like, oh, why do you have a pillowcase or a cover on your Roho cushion? And well, I find that the cover that comes with the Roho cushion, I find it really slippery, and I always feel like falling or sliding off of it. So, but my mom did a pillowcase, and then on the underside is elastic. So she sewed a pillowcase to elastic and kind of made it and kind of wraps it around so that the top is a pillowcase and makes it not slippery at all. And if I want to lean against my back, like a lot of times when I'm sitting at my computer, I'm leaning forward so that I can reach everything, otherwise I can't reach anything. But if I want to lean back, then I have a pillow in the back so that I can get some at least back or head support. But it does make the chair a little bit heavier. These stools, my brother-in-law made these for me. One is for at the table because my leg always needs support, otherwise my legs get really sore and I'd have to get up. And I use the other one right here at my desk. And they're adjustable. They have a screw in the middle so that you can raise them or lower them, kind of put them at whatever height you want to put them on. And the top is nice and cushiony. And on the one on the right, I actually put, like, it's a small wedge, because the way the angle of my leg is, I found that a wedge on top worked better than just a padding on top, because then it hits more of my leg than just a square top. This is my most favorite thing in the house right now. I just got it in July. So I was having trouble getting up the steps, and so we hired a carpenter. And in our house, from our kitchen to, it's called our entrance, but it's really a one-car garage, but we've never used it as a garage. It's just an entrance, really big entrance. But we hired a carpenter, and he took out that closet that you see on the left, to make room for this lift. And it works really well, and it looks really nice, and there's still the steps on the side so that everyone else can use. And they came out and installed it for me, and a portion of it was covered by a grant, so that's really nice. And so now I can go outside when I want. I don't need to be, I don't want to go outside because it's too hard to get back in, or no, I don't want to go outside for 5 minutes because that's too much work to get back in. Now if I want to go out, well, it's really easy. Just walk on my lift and walk off, and right now I just walk on it, but you can use a wheelchair on it. Like, it's big enough and it has enough, there's enough weight capacity that you can have a wheelchair and a wheelchair on it. The thing that sold me on the Serenity lift is that to use the lift, there's a handheld controller. And now, as you can see, I kind of stand hunched over, and my arms, I don't have a lot of movement in my arms. So for me to use the actual button on the side, well, my head would hit something, or I'd have to get someone else to help me, or I wouldn't be able to reach it because the button's really small. So it's really nice that it has its own controller that I hold in my hand and I can do it myself. So that's really nice. And to use just go back 1 sec. To use the lift, it's plugged just into the wall like a normal outlet. And it can be used inside or outside, but as mine's inside. And yeah. So this is what my toilet looked like a couple years ago. So we had a shorter toilet and we replaced it with a higher toilet. And then I found at a hardware store, it's called a 2-inch toilet seat lift. So it attaches to your toilet like a normal toilet seat does. So that's really nice because then it doesn't move and wiggle on you and you're not going to fall off like a riser would. But it gives you an extra 2 inches. So that's really nice about it. And then as we got the higher toilet, the armrests, you move the armrests up too, and then the grab bars, I couldn't reach them, they were too high. So what my dad did is he cut a piece out of the armrest and screwed it back together and then taped it up so there was like no sharp edges or anything. And yeah, then it was perfect. Like then I could use it, I could reach it, so that was really nice. Now, this is what I have right now, and I love it. It's the best invention there ever was for a toilet. So it doesn't attach to your toilet, so that's really nice. You could put, there's many different adaptations that you can do to it. You could put wheels on the bottom to roll it kind of wherever you need it to be. You could put a commode on the bottom, so if you need to use it in a different room or something, you can put a commode in the bottom of it. And it's just pretty much like a lift chair. There's a button that you press to lift you up off the toilet so that you can stand easier. And there's 2 arms on the sides, and it's exactly like a normal toilet is, and like a lot of other people use the toilet as well, so that's really nice. So then they can use it as well. And you can stop it at any height. It doesn't have to be a certain height that you want. And it plugs into the wall just like any other thing that you plug into the wall. This threshold door ramp, I just got these in the summertime. I was having issues getting over like the little 2-inch lip to get into the house. But it can come in different lengths and heights, and it's rubber. So you put it in front of your door and it makes getting in and out easier. There's not a lip to get in, and it'd be nice for like wheelchair because it's really easy to, you don't have that extra bump that you have to get through. And I just got it from a medical store. This one's the same. This one's that I have on my deck. Same thing. Now this stuff, it's kind of maybe a little bit hard to see what it is, but we had a pad of cement out on like the front. This is like our front entrance. There's a nice big pad of cement, but because we have winter for like 6 months of the year, like from October, November to like April or May, we have snow, or we can have snow within that time frame. When you shovel the snow off the cement, like it would still be slippery, or like the water would drip off the roof because sometimes it gets warm and water would drip off the roof, and well, the cement would be slippery. There's a local guy around where I live. He applied, it's like little small pieces of rubber that he puts on your cement, and it makes it, like, it's amazing. It makes it less slippery, and it dries off really good because it's nice and black. And like, yeah, so the cement's not slippery at all. When the sun hits it, the water and ice and everything's gone in no time. And like anyone who has winter for a long time or stuff like that, I'd really recommend getting this on your cement, because no one with FOP wants to fall because it's icy. This is my raised garden that my brother-in-law made for me. It's been a while since I've kind of been able to garden, so I asked him to make me a raised garden for me. And this is what we came up with, and it's really nice because then I can reach the dirt and I can touch the dirt for once and kind of garden or do stuff myself. And crocheting. I've really liked crocheting, and I don't have a lot of arm movement, but you can still you can still crochet, even though I don't have a lot of arm movement. And I like to make things for my many nieces and nephews. And here are some of the things that I've made for them. And some of my favorite places for crochet patterns are Repeat Craft Me 1 and 2, Ravelry, and Surella. And I just want to say one more thing, if you have an OT, or if you can find an OT, I highly recommend having an occupational therapist on your team, because I found them really helpful with getting equipment, helping you pay for equipment, finding the right equipment that would suit your needs the best. So I really like that. And also, my OT, she helped me apply for a couple of different programs to help pay for things or help. So that was really nice as well. And yeah, lastly, I just wanted to say, I hope you found this fun and exciting to see all the things that I do, that I use, and hopefully it gives you some ideas of things to help make life easier for you. Like, life with FOP is tough, but these are some things to help make it not so tough. And if you have any questions or just want to chat, feel free to reach out to me via my email or even on Facebook. I'm on Facebook. And yeah, send it back to you, Karen.
Thank you, Kathleen. That was so wonderful. I've heard her, we've practiced, and I've heard these things so many times, but I still feel like I'm hearing it for the first time because there's so many wonderful tips that she is sharing. I know that she mentioned it, and also Amberin mentioned it, and so I wanted to bring it up to you all. Even though she said, and I totally agree, getting an occupational therapist on your team, it is super helpful to learn from other people in the FOP community. And Kathleen mentioned and Amberin mentioned that the Support for FOP Facebook group is a place where you can chat with other people in the FOP community from around the world. And if you're not a part of that Facebook group and you would like to be, it's a private closed group, but we really encourage you to join that. So you just need to email either myself or Hope Newport, and we can contact the group administrator, which is Steve Eichner, and get you to be a part of that group, because everyone posts questions in there. And then every time someone posts a questions, there's plenty of community members that are chiming in and say what worked for them, or this is what they tried, or they tried this and it didn't work. So it's really helpful to get feedback from the community too. And I think that's why everyone loves these presentations so much. The other thing I loved, this is something Kathleen said, is her mascara tool. She said that reacher, or that grabber that she uses, broke, and she almost threw it away. And I chuckle because don't ever throw tools away. I recently had a meeting with Manuel, who lives in Argentina, and I did a social media post on it. He takes all of his old broken tools, and then he and his dad craft them into some kind of new tool that ends up working for them. So I learned so much from all of you, and I'm sure you learned something from either Kathleen or from Amberin. But I encourage you to contact me, reach out to me. I'd love to meet you. I'd love to hear all of your stories, and I'd love to learn what kind of things you use. And as you saw, some of the things are everyday items, like her headphones that she uses when she's on the computer working, but she uses them upside down. And that was just such a clever thing that I wouldn't have thought of, but it just came natural to her when she was trying to figure out her own solution. So even if you don't think what you have is very specialized, other people might benefit from learning from it.